my friends. This is how I sharpen my marking chalks. I just take the thread snipper and I use the blade on that to get a fine edge on the marking chalk. Makes a little bit of dust, a little bit of mess, as you can see. I kind of start on the corners in particular because that's where I usually end up using the marking chalk mostly. So there's that little habit that I've been learning. I also modified this construction paper, this cardstock template. I cut out this area here so that right off the start I will make the muslin front left piece leg with a pocket cutout for the pocket hole. There's the piece I cut out, and the next time I go to make a construction paper cardstock template for the leg, for that left front leg, I'll put that on there so I have the correct size cutout that I can make. I also still have the denim yoke waiting in the wings. I won't be doing it in this video, but once I get the back of these muslin jeans onto this front part here, I will be cutting out the muslin yokes and putting them on the back part. So just show that for your information only right now. So hello friends, the first part of this video shows how I stitch together a small length of the crotch seam allowance in order to keep both front legs together and stable while I sew the zipper together. I already had the zipper sewn onto this front left leg, and so in this video I'm going to do this sewing here to get the right front leg and the left front leg connected together. The first part of this video shows how I put the legs together. The back part of the video shows how I modify the front left cardstock, that red construction paper template, so that the pocket cutout is made right from when I cut the muslin off the template. That saves a step later. It's cut initially when I cut out the muslin, so I don't cut the muslin out first and then have to cut the pocket opening out afterwards. It saves a step. Now I want to give credit for part of my research for this video. The channel where I went this time is called TOCK Custom. The guy over there, he makes clothing for men. He makes men's clothing. That's what he sews. And I know a lot of women make men's clothes for themselves because they wear men's clothes. Men's clothes are really adaptable as far as fit. They hang really well because they're very kind of perpendicular and straight, sort of. And not only that, a lot of women make clothes for their men friends and their men clients, their men customers. So I think this video will have broad appeal for all of us, ladies and gentlemen. I am starting to get familiar with how to connect the legs together. I do leave the errors that may occur in my videos, I leave them in. Then I show how I remedy the error to make it correct or alter it to make it work. Thank you for stopping in. I hope this is helpful to you in your sewing adventures, your fun. I'll get on with it. So I want to take these fronts and I want to join them together. So I'm going to turn that like that and like that. And I have a stitch line there, and I have a stitch line there. So this is the front of the the right leg. I'm going to take the left leg and turn it backwards. So that's the back of the left leg. And what I'm going to do is just join them together a little bit right there on that 1/2 inch seam allowance. There and there. So I'm just going to stitch a line right there to get them together. And I'll see how that works out. Okay, so I did that little bit of sewing on the crotch there. And you can see there's a line, and there's where it's sewn together. And I know I talk about 5 pairs of muslin pants, but this is the first time that I've ever put muslin pants, the 2 front pieces, together. So I'm calling this the first pair for now. But you can see what I did was that I did put a line of thread right there. And it came through on both sides. And now I can open them up, and I'm kind of lined up on the fly so that I can get to work on the fly and get them together there, and then I can get the rest of the back of the pants and move forward from there. I just want to clarify that, you know, I'm learning how to do this, and that the end result may be very different from what it's supposed to be. It may be terrifically, you know, incorrect when I get to doing the other seams on the outside and the inside, but for now this is coherent, and I've got something I can work with, something I can learn with. Hello friends, so here I am, and I've already stitched the 2 legs together with this little bit of stitching down here that I'd shown you earlier. And now what I've done is I've clipped this side of the front right pant, and I've made about a 3/8 of an inch fold. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to iron this fold to get it to flatten and stay so that I can take it to the sewing machine, and then I'm going to edge stitch right along with my pointer, right along the edge, and then another one. But I'm going to have to put them really close together. I'm going to have to use the zipper foot on the sewing machine because I want to get a double row. But so that's how I've set that up. And here is the part of the zipper tape or whatever that's going to go right along there like that. So that's what I'm up to. Giving credit where credit is due, the channel I'm watching, the YouTube channel I'm watching to help me learn how to do this is called TOCK Custom. Some guy in the States, and he does a lot of sewing stuff. If you ever go over there, he has an excellent, it's about an hour-long video on how to make jeans, and putting the zipper on is definitely part of that. Excuse me, part of that video. And he does say quite clearly that when it comes to making jeans or pants, the zipper is the most difficult part. So if we learn how to do the zipper, we can learn how to do the rest of it. So I've got the iron warming up, and I've got the left front pant leg, because these are the front, not the back. These are the front, so I've got the left one out of the way. And I'm just going to start with the nose of the iron, getting a little bit ironed at a time. And I still got a flashing green light on the iron, so I'm going to wait for about probably another 30. Oh, there we go. It should come on. Usually after it makes that sound, then the green light comes on and stays on within about 15 seconds. So it should go green and stay on. I'm kind of hoping it'll do it. There we go. It's on. So now that I've got this in position, I'm going to take the first one off, and then I'll just start like that. Then I'll get the other one, and that one, all the clips are gone now. And there's that nice defined seam that I can take over to the sewing machine. And once I get over to the sewing machine, I'll don't know whether I'll show you changing the foot or not. Well, you'll probably see me changing the foot to the zipper foot from the regular multi-purpose foot. So there, I'm happy with that. I'm gonna let it cool because it's really hot now. So I don't want to burn my fingers, my hand. That I can move out of the way. I don't need these clips now. And I can use my seam measure, take it out of the way, and take my pointer away as well. Let me see how we made out. So there we are. Let me get in a little more precise, a little closer. And there's my iron seam there. So, you know, I can tell just by looking at that, I'm going to have to make the edge stitching really, really close, like, you know, an eighth of an inch at the most. So it's not going to, there's not going to be a whole lot of room. And I've changed the foot, so I had the zipper foot on. But before I go any further, I wanted to point out that the zipper tape goes down to about here. So on here I put a little pen mark right there because there's no point in me going down here. Well, maybe there is, just to sew that so it stays flat. Maybe I'll go all the way down. But I thought of that, and maybe I'll just go to there for now and see what I do about that later. Because that's where the zipper tape ends, right there. That is pretty accurate, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'll go over to the iron, which will have the pants, and we'll get, not over to the iron, to the sewing machine, and we'll get this stitched up. Now the other thing that I would like to mention is that I do have the zipper foot so that the needle is closer to the right side. So I'll be able to get the needle right close to the zipper teeth. So we'll get going with that. And I'm going to get a couple of stitches in going forward, and then I'll back tack. And that is about an eighth of an inch. That needle is about an eighth of an inch from the edge of the material there. So I'm happy with that. There, I got 2 or 3 stitches there. And as you can tell, I'm going pretty slow because I don't want to mess this up. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep just a smidgen of the cloth just to the right of the zipper foot there to see a little bit of it. I was probably actually closer than an eighth of an inch. I was probably a 16th for a little bit along there. Okay, that's the end where I want to go for now. So I back tacked, and now I think I would like to pivot it all the way around so that I can go up to the top. Now I do have to go over just about an eighth or a quarter of an inch. So let me do that, which will just be like 2 or 3 stitches. 1, 2. That's a little further than I would have liked to have gone, I think. But Well, I'll live with it for now. I can always veer back towards the left. And now I'll get the cloth totally turned, 180. I think that's the position I want to be in. And I am going to veer the material. You'll see me kind of coaxing it over once I get going here right now. And I can tell just, you know, through the opaqueness of the cloth that the edge of the cloth underneath is right there. So I'm kind of right a 16th or even a 32nd. So I'm going to veer to the left a little more. There, now I've got plenty of room. Now I got to back tack some more. And now I'm going to turn it again, pivot it again, just to finish it off. Well, I may have gone too far. I don't know what happened there. Let me back tack a bit. Now I'll go forward. There, I think I'm good there. So I can get the needle out. Oops, there, the foot came off. Good, it's out of the way. Now pull the cloth out. How did I do? Okay, so we started up here, and it looks like you know what, it's right on the line, right on the edge of the seam allowance, so it's still good. I didn't really miss any. There's no gap there. And then when I got down here, I turned, and that's where I came out a little too wide, and I veered back to the left. And that's the other row, going all the way back up to the top. And I kind of puckered it or bunched it a little bit when I did the back tack or whatever up there. But all in all, it's doing the job that it was meant to do. So, we'll get doing the next part. We'll talk about the next part. There, I got rid of the pucker, and that's good. It's going to wait until I do the rest of the inseam. Do that stitched up. So there we go. Okay, so I'm going to just keep bluffing along, and now I'm going to actually, now that I have that seam allowance nicely sewn there, now I'm going to sew the zipper to it. So I'm going to get it started. Let me do the zipper up. And let me see where the camera's aiming at. I think I got you there. So you can see my next adventure. So I've got the muslin cloth right up against the zipper teeth. Oh yeah. So I'm going to get it in there. Where's my little poker? My little grabber. Going to let the foot down. Hold the thread. Then I'm going to go forward a bit. You know what? Can I get it over a little more? Let me see if I can. There, that's really close. Okay. Wow, I'm going to have to really make sure that I keep that cloth close to the zipper teeth. I've got a little bit of leeway starting there, but anyway, I'm going to get started, do a back tack. That was 3. Now we'll go back. 1, 2, 3. Now make sure that I got the cloth on the zipper tape. Get it over there. Now we'll go ahead. Because I want to have the zipper straight. I don't want it to be, you know, wobbling back and forth. I want it to be like a real pair of pants. Now I've got the needle buried. I'm just going to try and get that zipper past where I need to come, where I need to go. Okay, we did it. You guys are the best. You guys and gals. When I say guys, I mean gals too. Yes, I do. The foot is down. What am I doing here? I want to make sure that I don't double anything over, and I haven't. All I'm sewing is this piece of cloth to the zipper tape. We'll get going. Like, it's really easy because all I'm doing is I'm following the stitch that I already made when I did just a seam allowance. And I'll be honest, when I did that first part where I just stitched the seam allowance, that was a mistake. I was supposed to stitch it to the zipper tape, which I'm doing now. But you know what? The practice didn't hurt me. I'm actually kind of glad that I forgot about that, and I got the trial run. And it's really quite simple for me now to follow the thread that's already there. How are we doing for, the needle's down, let me lift up the foot. Maybe go another 1 or 2. Okay, we're by the teeth there. And now I'm gonna pivot it really carefully. And I might just hand bomb it. There, that's only one stitch. The needle's buried, I'll lift the foot up. I'll pivot it again. And I think I'm doing a little better, closer job than I did on the trial run. Now that I've had a chance to do this, I'm glad that I did the trial run first, actually. It was experience that I needed. See, now I should move that foot over. I should move it over to the left side. Well, you know what, I'm not going to, because I'll have to stop and cut everything and I don't want to do that. I'll just have to suffer along, see what I end up with. Okay, I got the zipper puller out of the way. Back tack. Just give me a second here, I'm trimming up some thread, and then I'll show you what I did. Okay. I guess I should turn that light on. Make it easier to see. So there we go. The zipper is on. So now the two front legs are together. What does it look like on the back? There we go, pretty clean. Okay, I've got some extra thread there. There. Okay, so that's the first zipper I've ever done completely, and it was a great learning experience, and I'm really happy with it. The zipper puller goes all the way up to the top. I do have a gap there for the crotch seam, the crotch fold, seam allowance, no big deal. There we go. I'll take it over to the ironing board and we'll take a look at it over there. Okay, here we are. And I've got the iron heated up. I'm going to give this a quick press and give you a little critique. Now, looking down here, there's a little bit of a pucker or a misalignment. So now that I have the zipper holding the two pieces of both sides of the front together, I'll be able to rip those stitches out gently. Okay, so I did rip those stitches out down here, and I've got a pin in here to make sure it stays flush, so it's nice and flat. And I'm just going to put a few stitches in there just to hold it nice and firm. Take this pin out now. Almost. I'll leave it for a second. I'm just going to get 2 or 3 stitches in and then back tack. I've got the multi-foot tack in. I took the zipper foot off. I think that's about all I want to do. So back tack. Take that pin out now, I don't need it anymore. Now we'll take that over and we'll look at it over there. There, I got rid of the pucker. And that's good. It's going to wait until I do the rest of the inseam. Do that stitched up. So there we go. And flatten it out. I'm just going to give this a quick press as it sits and call it a night. There, that's good. And that's good. So, you know, it's a lot of fun. I'm really starting to learn how to think about this stuff. You know, it's a little bit like, you know, kind of driving a car maybe for the first time, learning how to drive. But you know what? I'm having a riot. And I hope you enjoyed this. You know, it's not perfect. It's far from perfect as far as the video and the mistakes I make. But, you know, there's still a lesson in there for us. So maybe seeing what you know, my little mix-ups that I do here, if you're new like I am, maybe it'll prevent you making the same mix-up. So, like always, we want to learn and have fun. Maybe we'll put the fun first. We want to have fun while we're learning. I'm just modifying this. I had made it overly large, and I'm just diminishing this part here and down here. And then I'm going to get to talking about the pocket up here real soon. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. I've already marked it in with pen, outlined it. So I've already outlined it and pen down here, so I'm just going to take the pants away and then get my scissors and start cutting. So that's the first one, and now I'm going to go all the way down there. There, I think you can see the line that I've drawn there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that, and I'll get right back to you. So you can see I've chalked in with yellow chalk a line, a 1/2 inch seam allowance right there on the jeans. And what I want to do is I want to make a cut mark following this line, but I don't want to do it on the jeans. I want to do it underneath on that. So what I'm going to do now is just take this and make a line of impressions or holes. Let me see if that's working. Yeah, it's working. So I'll just do that. And then I can remove the jeans and then cut that red cardstock underneath, construction paper underneath. following the holes as my line. And I can even take my pen and draw it in ink between the holes as well. Like that. Cool. And why am I doing this? To make the template more correct. It was lacking in its correctness. It's part of the beginner's learning process, because I'm a beginner. There. Now when I cut the muslin, that pocket opening will already be there. It'll come off here. Well, here I am at the end. I hope you are too. I hope we all made it through together. Thanks for watching all the way through. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you can. It really helps, and I'd really be grateful for it. Hey, listen, I want you to have fun. I want you to keep safe, keep on coming back, and this will be it for now. So stop in again and we'll chat next time. I'll show you what I'm up to, making my errors and how I fix them. So on that note, have fun, stay safe. Adios, amigos.